Check out FlipsideGaming.com for all your gaming needs. Use the promo code HEROES to save 10% on orders over $10. From June 4th through July 3rd, 2020, if you use this promo code, you will automatically be entered into a drawing to win a draft booster box of Core Set 2021. Also, there is another way to enter where no purchase is necessary. See the link in the description below for full details. Hey there, this is John from Heroes and Legends, and welcome to another edition of the Magic the Gathering Market Watch. It's another big week in the secondary market. A lot of cards still going up in value, although not quite as many as we have been seeing over the last few weeks. So I do think we're starting to see some early signs of stabilization, and as we go throughout the video, we'll talk more about that. But I think one of the key drivers is we do have more sellers coming back to the online marketplace, and they're going to bring more inventory, which should start to even things out a little bit. Quickly before we get into the details today, though, just a fast reminder, if you go over to FlipsideGaming.com, you can use the Heroes promo code to save 10% on orders over $10. And whenever you use that promo code, it does support the channel, which is always appreciated. So thank you. And without any further ado, let's get into it. Oh boy, let's talk about Standard and your top 6 Standard legal cards that have lost value this week. Number 6, Lurrus of the Dream Den, down 65 cents to 6.16. Alright, so we know this card got banned in Legacy. It got banned, not restricted in Vintage. What else could they do to it? Well, on Monday, they announced that they are making a change to the companion mechanic across the board. And it is a nerf to this mechanic. If you want to get the companion creature now out of your sideboard to your hand, you have to pay 3 mana at sorcery speed. So it is going to slow down these cards. With that being said, though, I think this card will lose a little more value. I mean, after all, it is a rare, but I do think it's going to continue to see play. I mean, before the change, it was seeing play in like Jeskai Cycling, Rakdos Lurrus, and more in the Standard environment. Also, this card has found its way into decks in Commander, Pioneer, and Modern. Number 5, Luca Coppercoat Outcast, down 69 cents to 10.17. So there was another change on Monday. 2 cards were banned in Standard, Fires of Invention, as well as Agent of Treachery. 2 cards that see a lot of play with Luca Coppercoat Outcast, and because of that, this card is losing value this week. The question is, will this continue to see Standard play now? I think it could see a little play, but nowhere near the amount of play that it was seeing, and I do think this will continue to lose value. It is seeing a little Pioneer play, though, too. Number 4, another card that's going down in value because of those bannings we discussed. It's Teferi Time Raveler, down 76 cents to 18.68. Now, compared to Luca, this is still going to see a lot of play in Standard. You'll find this in like Bant Ramp builds, Azorius Control, and more, I have no doubt. This also does see play in other places too, like Pioneer, Modern, and even Legacy. Number 3 is Blood Crypt, the one from Return to Ravnica. It goes down 66 cents to 15.32. And even though it is losing value, this is a shock land that is seeing a lot of play currently in Standard. Obosh Sacrifice, Rakdos Lurrus, Jund Sacrifice, and much more. Also, like all shock lands, this will show up in Pioneer and Modern too. Number 2 is Breeding Pool. 2 copies here. Gatecrash down 91 cents to 26.48. Ravnica Allegiance down $1.18 to 28.40. Just normalizing down, but another copy of this card is going up in value. You'll see it later. But you'll find this in like Bant Ramp, Temur Reclamation, and much more in Standard. Also another card that's in Pioneer and Modern. Kroxa Titan of Death's Hunger is number 1, going down $1.41 to $20. So again, I think there's some people that are a little nervous right now about these more expensive cards coming off that banning. We'll have to see where the meta goes, but this has been seeing play in Rakdos Lurrus and more places there. Also, it does see Pioneer, Modern, Brawl, and even Commander play, so I do think this could lose a little more value, but I think it will stabilize relatively quickly. We also saw a Core Set 2021 preview card that might play well into a strategy with this card, and that's Liliana, Waker of the Dead, something to think about for the future. Okay, on to the top 7 Standard legal cards that have gained value this week. Coming in at number 7 is God Eternal Oketra, up 64 cents to 6.71. So this has seen a fair amount of Commander play and has been fairly popular actually as a Commander. But I think the reason this is starting to go up right now is because in some of those early Core Set 2021 previews and also some of the leaks that occurred, it appears that maybe there's going to be a white aggro theme within that set, which could lend itself to this card becoming better in the future in Standard. We'll have to kind of see where it goes. It's still very early, but there are some people speculating on it, as you can see by the price increase. Number 6 is Steam Vents from Guild Pack, going up 73 cents to $20.89. Now, there was a copy of the Guilds of Ravnica version of this card in the Allied Fires 2020 Challenger deck. Those extra copies have made this soft in the past, but now it's rebounding a little bit. This card does see a lot of play in Standard in like Temur Reclamation, Temur Elementals, Temur Adventure, And again, like all of these shock lands, you'll find this in Pioneer and Modern too. Number 5, here's another one. Sacred Foundry, Guilds of Ravnica up 87 cents to $14.99. Ravnica City of Guilds up $1.20 to $18.04. You'll find this in Jeskai Cycling, Winona Midrange, and more in the format. Number 4, the Great Henge up $1.54 to $26.54. You'll find this in Grow Midrange and other decks in Standard. Also sees a lot of Brawl and Commander play. Number 3, Uro Titan of Nature's Wrath up $203 to $45.77. Now, this card has been losing value over the last couple weeks, mostly because of the very high price point that it has. This week it does bounce back a little bit, and I do think that's tied into the bannings that occurred on Monday, because now going forward, this card is even going to be more powerful in the meta. Currently it sees play in Temur Reclamation, Bant Ramp, Temur Elemental, Sultai Midrange, and more. Also sees Pioneer, Modern, Brawl, and Commander play too. Number 2, Nyx Bloom Ancient is a card that's moving more so because of Commander than Standard. It goes up $2.16 to $19.49. This has been a huge Commander card in those big mana decks ever since it came out, and now it's even seeing more play as more cards are complementing that strategy. Things like Zixara the Exemplary and Kinnenbonder Prodigy and others. Number 1, here's that other breeding pool I promised you. It's the original one from Dissension, going up $2.88 this week to $35.44. Alright, on to Pioneer and your top 5 Pioneer illegal cards that have lost value this week. Number 5, Emrakul, the Promised End. It goes down $2.12 to $40.41. I think one of the key reasons you're seeing some of these cards like this one going down is just because of some added inventory out there. This is in Sultai Delirium, Modern Tron builds, and sees Commander play as well. Number 4 is Cyclonic Rift, the one from Modern Masters 2017. It goes down $2.46 to $38.50. These cards are trying to find their price point. They've been going up in value pretty wildly recently. This particular one is retracting a little bit, but another one is still going up in value. We'll see that one in a few moments. But regardless, this is a card that sure does see a little Modern play sometimes, but really the movement around this card has been all about Commander. This is one of the biggest Commander cards out there. Number 3, Gisela the Broken Blade, another card that has recently spiked. It goes down $2.43 to $17.42. This is great in Commander Angel builds and also has been seeing more play in Commander with Cathril Aspect Warper. Number 2, same story here with Zakama Primal Calamity. It goes down $2.50 to $34.99. This card has been climbing pretty aggressively because of the play it's seeing in Commander, and now it's retracting a little bit. This is a great card to play fair with in like a dinosaur build, or you can play unfair with this by playing it, untapping your lands, bouncing it, and creating loops. Number 1 is Ugin the Spirit Dragon, down $7.34 to $55.99. So we talk about this card a lot. Usually it's because it's going up in value. It sees play in Pioneer Lotus Breach, Modern Tron. It's a highly played Commander card. Why is it losing so much value? Because it's official. This card is being reprinted in Core Set 2021. Alright, on to your top 6 Pioneer illegal cards that have gained value this week. Number 6 is Ahlamara's Archive. It goes up $1.89 to $17.87. This is the Mystery Booster copy. And this has been a pretty hot Commander card recently. It has been going up in value pretty strongly. And that's tied in with the fact that not only is this just a great Commander card, but it plays well with some of the cards we got from Commander 2020, as well as Ikoria. Now, there's another card that was previewed from Core Set 2021 that also could play well into those strategies. That's Teferi's Ageless Insight, so that's something to keep an eye on too. Number 5 is another copy of Cyclonic Rift. This is the one from Commander 2014. It goes up $1.92 to $42.49. Number 4 is Oketra the True, up $2.16 to $6.97. This has seen increased Commander play with Cathril Aspect Warper, but like I mentioned, there's at least potential for maybe some good aggressive white cards that come out of Core Set 2021, and I do think maybe the speculation around that is boosting this card a little too. Number 3 is another good Commander card, Combat Celebrant. It goes up $2.55 to $9.62. And yeah, it's still Commander driving the prices here. We're not seeing a lot of the Pioneer staples or a lot of the Modern staples for that matter moving up in value. The cards that are moving the most aggressively are truly Commander cards, and that's why you're seeing so many of them in these videos recently. Now, this one has been seeing some increased Commander play with new cards, things like Winota Joiner of Forces, Helden Avid Arcanist, and Paco Arcane Retriever. Number 2, Elenda the Dusk Rose, goes up $3.35 to $20.99. Sure, this is a big Commander card. It sees playing Teysa Karlov builds, Edgar Markov builds, 2 very popular decks. It's also seen increased play with Nethroi Apex of Death recently, but I don't think those are the reasons it's moving this week, at least not this much. I think it's actually because of a couple Core Set 2021 preview cards, Vito Thorn of the Dusk Rose and Indulging Patrician. So it does appear that the Core Set is going to have a Orzhov Vampire Life Gain theme. And if the cards are strong enough, you could potentially have some kind of deck in Pioneer that wants to play Elenda. or the set could raise the playability of the card even more in Commander. Number 1 is Burma's King of Oreskos, up 384 to 1999. That's a pretty big jump quickly for this card. It occurred over the last 24 hours. So yes, this card does see Commander play in like cap builds. It has seen more play recently with Winota Joiner of Forces. But, of course, that 2021 card is at play here. This time it's Rin and Seri Inseparable. And yeah, dogs are a creature type if you haven't heard that news yet, and I do think this could be a pretty popular commander in the not too distant future. Okay, on to Modern, and the top 5 Modern legal cards that have lost value this week. So again, you're seeing a lot of cards that have been going up in value retracting. Partially that could be natural stabilization, or it also could be some more inventory entering the marketplace. Number 5 is Ad Nauseam. It goes down $3.92 to $34. He's playing Modern as well as Legacy and Commander, especially competitive Commander. This card became even more popular when Thassa's Oracle came out. Number 4, Doubling Season from Ravnica City of Guilds. It goes down $4.87 to $62.99. Highly played Commander card. But we did find out not too long ago that this was getting a reprint in Double Masters. Number 3 is Primordial Hydra, and Hydras have been super hot. A lot of people have been building Commander Hydra decks around Zixara the Exemplary, and this card has been going up aggressively. Finally, it begins to stabilize back down a little. Magic 2013 goes down $4.37 to $26. Magic 2012 down $5.90 to $23. Number 2, another really big Commander card with Mana Reflection. It's been going up pretty aggressively too, but this week it goes down $6.32 to $47. And number 1 is Training Grounds. It goes down $8.83 to $44.48. This has always been a very popular card for Commander Slivers builds. Recently, it's even seen more play in builds like Kenrith the Returned King and also Kinnan Bonder Prodigy. Alright, on to your top 6 Modern legal cards that have gained value this week. Coming in at number 6 is Doubling Cube. 5th Dawn goes up $3.24 to $26.20. 10th edition up $5.71 to $31.37. So I think there's a pretty good chance this gets reprinted in Double Masters. But for right now, this card is going up in value because it is seeing more play with Zixara the Exemplary and Commander. Number 5, I don't want to shock you. I hope you're seated because there's a Modern card on this Modern list. It is Gemstone Caverns. It goes up $6.47 to $36.52. You're going to find this in things like Eldrazi Tron, Gyruda Combo, even see some Legacy play, but it also does see Commander play too, and has seen some increased play in Kinnan Bonder Prodigy builds. Number 4, okay, back to Commander. Vorinclex, Voice of Hunger. New Phyrexia goes up $4.07 to $36.99. Iconic Masters goes up $8.29 to $34.99. This has been seeing a lot of Commander play in big mana builds like Kinnan, but just in general, it's a good card. Number 3, Sashiro the Anointed. This goes up $8.77 to $18.43, and it is seeing more play in Commander right now with Z-Riz the Writhing Storm. Number 2, bet you didn't see this coming. Pact of Negation, another card that actually sees Modern play on the Modern list. Masters 25 goes up $5.92 to $35.99. Future Sight up $11.86 to $49.99. This is in Ad Nauseam, Amulet Titan, and more in the format. And sure, this does see play in Commander too, especially competitive Commander builds. Number 1, another card that actually sees a little Modern play. City of Brass also sees some Legacy play. Also a lot of Commander play too, though. 8th edition goes up $1.33 to $16.15. Modern Masters up $2.20 to $23.25. 6th edition up $2.84 to $19.75. Chronicles goes up $10.89 to $29.38, and Arabian Nights goes up $14.73 to $349.99. Speaking of Arabian Nights, welcome to the Vintage Spotlight. This is where we talk about cards that see play in Legacy, Vintage, 93-94, sometimes cards that are popular among collectors, or a lot of the times just older Commander cards. Mana Drain. This is a great Commander card. It's also a good Vintage card. It goes up $6.78 to $239.99. This is the one from Legends. Sylvan Library, you're going to find this many times in Legacy Oko Snow builds, but this is also, of course, a huge Commander card. Eternal Masters up $1.52 to $68.50. Legends up $9.46 to $119.49 this week. Next, we have Bayou from Revised, and there's actually a number of Revised dual lands on this list yet again this week. We saw this happen last week as well. Feels like a number of these cards are jumping, especially as that secondary market continues to dry up a little bit. All of these are on the reserve list, so I won't bring that up every time, but this one's going up $9.88 to $299.96. Copy Artifact from Unlimited sees a pretty big jump this week. It goes up $10.38 to $89.15. Mana Crypt, nothing can keep this card down. We know it's getting a reprint in Double Masters. It just got a reprint in Mystery Boosters, but it's a popular card, and that Double Masters set does not come out till August. If somebody needs the card right now for a Commander or Vintage deck, they're just going to go ahead and pay the price, I guess. Mystery Booster goes up $1.17 to $139.99. The original book giveaway media promo copy goes up $14.04 to $292.02. Next is Singing Tree. This is on the reserve list. It goes up $14.16 to $99.99. Taiga from Revised goes up $15 to $229.91. Plateau from Revised up $15.16 to $150. Savannah from Revised up $18.95 to $199.50. Scrubland from Revised up $20.89 to $200. King Suleiman, also on the reserve list, goes up $23.15 to $123.82. Mox Diamond from Stronghold on the reserve list, but it did get a reprinting in foil and from the Vault Relics before they closed that loophole. This copy goes up $24.44 this week to $372.44. This does see some legacy play and also a lot of commander play, especially again in competitive commander. Mishra's Factory from Antiquities, this is the winter variant. It's going up $28.68 this week to $251.48. Word of Command from Unlimited on the reserve list goes up $31.24 this week to $151.53. Another dual land from Revised, it's Badlands this time. It goes up $37.29 to $293.94. Another Arabian Nights card here, Guardian Beast on the reserve list as well. It goes up $41.69 to $468.26. Library of Alexandria on the reserve list. It goes up $360.89 to $1,495. This is another case, though, that there's just not a lot of sales of this card in good condition right now. So the big websites are going to look back at what people are actually asking for the card as opposed to what it's selling for. And because of that, you're getting a little bit of a skew here. So I would not pay this for a lightly played copy of the card. This is inflated a little bit, but this at least feels like sort of natural inflation where somebody is probably listing cards a little bit higher hoping to get an offer as opposed to flat out manipulation. One example of strong manipulation would be Black Lotus from Unlimited this week. I did not make a slide for it because the numbers were outrageous, but that's a case where somebody's listing them at extremely, extremely high prices, and that's throwing off all the data. All right, it's time for the Commander Spotlight, and again, it's pretty robust. Not as big as it's been, but it's still really big. So I'm going to go quickly through these, kind of speed around these cards. Not going to go into all the detail I normally go into, but we got a lot to cover, so let's go. Oracle of Maldaya, a big card in lands, builds, and Commander, goes up $1 to $45 this week. Also has seen some increased play with Halden and Paco. Luxury Suite, one of these multiplayer lands, going up again, this time $1.01 to $14.03. Sarah the Benevolent, up $1.03 to $10.31, has seen increased play with Alila, Artful Provocateur. Sylvan Tutor, it goes up $1.03 to $86.45. These tutors are critical for competitive Commander. A lot of people are just picking up any tutor they can get. And these older ones that are hard to find in good condition are jumping up in value. Now, if you missed the news, Grim Tutor is actually being reprinted in Core Set 2021 at Mythic. So if you've been waiting to get a hold of that card, you're going to have your chance soon. Linvala, Keeper of Silence from Rise of the Eldrazi, up $1.07 to $29.99. This is great in Angel builds and many others. Earl the Miststalker from Alara Reborn, one of my favorite commanders, sees a lot of play as a commander. It goes up $1.10 to $11.10. Personal Tutor, another hard to find tutor here. It goes up $1.10 to $29.14. Mental Misstep up $1.11 this week to $4.91. It does see vintage play even though it's restricted, but it's another card that's seeing play in competitive Commander too. Morphon the Boundless up $1.12 to $16.57. This is great in a number of builds, and not too long ago, Kaleidoscope Killers came out, the Secret Lair. All three cards in there actually play well with this one. That inspired this card to move up a little bit. And now it's really moving because of the whole Dog Tribal announcement, as a lot of people are thinking about building those decks in the future. 1,000 Year Elixir up $1.13 to $11.87. This is the one from Lorwyn. This has seen some increased play in builds like Kelsey and the Plague, Kinnan-Bonder Prodigy, and more. Here's another card that's restricted in vintage but still sees play there. Lotus Petal. This is the one from Mystery Boosters. It goes up $1.17 to $10.70. Also sees play, of course, in Commander and Legacy. Rise of the Dark Realms goes up $1.18 to $29.50. This has seen some increased play with Nethroi, Apex of Death, and some of the other new cards that care about what's going on in the graveyard. This is good, though, regardless in Commander. Ulamog the Ceaseless Hunger, not the only Eldrazi you're going to see today. This goes up $1.19 to $44.02. Eldrazi have been very popular recently in Commander. You have those big mana decks that are being pushed by things like Nyx Bloom Ancient and Kinnan-Bonder Prodigy. This is also good with some of the new cards like Genesis Ultimatum, for example. This also sees play in Modern and Tron builds. Kami of the Crescent Moon from Saviors of Kamigawa. It goes up $1.23 to $3.73. And this has seen some increased play with Zera's the Writhing Storm, Shabraz the Sky Shark. Remember the Lotus God got reprinted recently too. And in general, it's a good group hug card. Angrath the Flame Chained up $1.24 to $8.56, seeing more play with Kroxa Titan of Death's Hunger. Bloom Tender, this is great to support partner commanders, which many times make you go deeper into colors, but just in general, it's a great commander card. Eventide up $1.05 to $48.53. Mystery Booster up $1.26 to $35.03. Forgotten Ancient from Commander 2016 up $1.28 to $2.89. This sees play in Atraxa builds in other places, but it is seeing more play now with Kazur Ruthless Stalker and Ukima Stalking Shadow. Mystical Tutor from Signature Spellbook Jace goes up $1.31 to $19.16, another tutor that's seeing play in Commander and also in Vintage. Gisela Blade of Gold Knight, many times you'll find this in Kalia of the Vast builds, and that card's being reprinted in Double Masters, but this is in other builds as well. Masters 25 goes up $1.02 to $10.36, Commander 2015 up $1.33 to $9.39. Food Chain, very popular classic Commander card. It goes up $1.34 to $69.95. This combos very well with the First Sliver and Squee the Immortal, and also Food Chain decks have been getting a little bit of a push because of a couple partner commanders I mentioned earlier, Kazur Ruthless Stalker and Ukima Stalking Shadow. Maelstrom Wanderer, the one from Eternal Masters, goes up $1.35 to $25.49. Another very popular commander on its own, but has been seeing more play now with a Luna Apex of Wishes out there. Contagion Engine goes up $1.37 to $11.96. This card has been almost making our list for a number of weeks now, finally breaks through. This is frequently found in Atraxa builds, but a lot of others too. Dark Confidant from Modern Masters 2015 up $1.37 to $53.20. Now, when you think of this card, you usually think of Modern. This does show up in things like Luris Jund and more, or you might think of Legacy and Vintage, but this is seeing more play in Commander now, especially again in those competitive builds. Imps of Mischief drying up a little bit in the marketplace this week, going up $1.41 to $10, but this does see some Commander play. Entomb, this is seeing more play now in Nethroi Apex of Death. Odyssey goes up $1.04 to $16.53. Eternal Masters up $1.22 to $15.72. Ultimate Masters goes up $1.43 to $14.97. Survival of the Fittest on the reserve list, but it did get a reprinting as a Judge Foil before they closed that loophole. This goes up $1.43 to $124.97 this week. This does see play in Vintage Survival builds, of course, but also is seeing more Commander play now with Nethroi Apex of Death. Gamble from Eternal Masters up $1.44 to $11.95. Another tutor here. This time it has a quote-unquote drawback, but that drawback could be good with things like Rael the Everwise or Brolin Skyshark Rider. Blind Obedience from Commander 2017. You'll see this sometimes in competitive builds. It goes up $1.45 to $4.91. Unbound Flourishing. It's not a Hydra, but it's seeing play in those Xara decks. It goes up $1.47 to $15.84. Oran Frostfang. This goes up $1.48 to $8, seeing more play with Xera's The Writhing Storm. Imperial Recruiter goes up $1.50 to $45. This is from Masters 25. And this is seeing additional play now with Winota join her forces in the format. And this does see Legacy play still too. Mana Vault, great vintage card, great commander card. This is the one from Ultimate Masters. It goes up $1.51 to $66.49. Platinum Angel from Conspiracy Take the Crown. Many times you'll find this in Angel builds or Phage builds and a lot of other decks too. It goes up $1.54 to $7.42. Farseek, a highly played commander card from Mystery Boosters, up $1.55 to $3.88. Sarah's Sanctum on the reserve list. It goes up $1.59 to $126.34. Great and enchantment heavy builds, and there are more of those around right now ever since Theros Beyond Death came out. Master Biomancer from Commander 2016. It goes up $1.61 to $4.18, and this is good in Atraxa builds, but it is seeing more play now with Kazur Ruthless Stalker and Ukima Stalking Shadow, and some other new cards too. Cavern of Souls from Modern Masters 2017, up $1.62 to $65.16. This is great in various tribal commander decks, and again, we have the Dog Tribe coming, so I do think maybe that's part of the reason this is creeping up a little bit. This is also found in Modern and Legacy decks too, of course. The Ur-Dragon from Commander 2017 can only be found in foil. It goes up $1.63 to $13.87. Fantastic Dragon Commander. Recently reprinted in the Kaleidoscope Killer Secret Lair, but this copy is still going up. Phyrexian Tower from Ultimate Masters, up $1.65 to $16.98. This has been seeing more play in Korvold Faker's King builds, but this is a highly played card regardless. Berserk from Conspiracy Take the Crown, up $1.68 to $26.84. This is seeing more play now with Calamex the Stormsire, and this does see some Legacy play too. Necropotence, Deckmasters Garfield vs. Finkel, up $1.51 to $42.37. That particular copy is foil only. Iconic Masters, up $1.73 to $23.70 this week. Great commander card, especially good in Carrick Son of Yawgmoth builds, sees vintage play too. Akroma's Memorial, another card that's good in those big mana decks. Future Sight goes up $1.63 to $25.83. Magic 2013 up $1.74 to $26.83. Pull from Tomorrow goes up $1.85 to $4.92. And again, these decks that care about you drawing cards or discarding cards are going to be interested in this. This has been seeing more play with Zexara the Exemplary, Calamax the Stormsire, Brawlin Skyshark Rider, and Shipraz the Skyshark, Rael the Everwise. And like I mentioned earlier, some Core Set 2021 cards might make this even more desirable. Jin Gitaxias Core Augur from New Phyrexia up $1.86 to $17.95. You'll find this in a lot of the Kinnan Bonder Prodigy builds. Ramos Dragon Engine, only found in foil, up $1.86 to $29.75. Very popular commander on its own. Many times you'll find this in the Dragon builds too. Demonic Tutor, great tutor in Commander, great tutor in Vintage. Revised goes up $1.21 to $37.99. Dual Decks Divine vs. Demonic up $1.40 to $42.06. Mystery Booster up $1.89 to $37.49. Wheel and Deal goes up $1.92 to $8.99, seeing more play now with Zera's The Writhing Storm. Another big Eldrazi, Ulamog the Infinite Gyre, Rise of the Eldrazi up $1.33 to $43.11. Ultimate Masters goes up $1.94 to $44.07. And another one, Kozilek Butcher of Truth from Ultimate Masters up $1.95 to $52.95. Reflecting Pool from Tempest goes up $1.97 to $19.41. Big mana-based card in Commander. Toxic Deluge, highly played in Commander, and sees a little legacy play too. Eternal Masters up $1.59 to $29.24. Commander 2013 up $2.10 to $28.99. Kindred Discovery goes up $2.18 to $25.63. Solid in tribal builds. Green Sun Zenith from Eternal Masters up $2.20 to $14.68. Sees a lot of Commander play again in big mana decks, and has seen more play with Kinnan Bonder Prodigy and Zexara the Exemplary. Noxious Revival, highly played card in both established builds and new ones. It goes up $2.28 to $9.95. Reforge the Soul, Avacyn Restored up $1.21 to $7.99. Commander 2016 goes up $2.31 to $9.27. This is another card where everyone has to discard and then draw. As you can imagine, you'll find this in builds like Zera's The Writhing Storm, Rael the Everwise, Brawlin Skyshark Rider, and Shipraz the Skyshark. And again, remember the Locust God was also reprinted recently. Razor Claw Bear for the fans of Bear Tribal out there. This goes up $2.35 to $44.99. Hammer of Nazan. This goes up $2.40 to $30. This card just keeps climbing. Every week I think it's about time for it to fall off or stabilize. Nope, goes up more. And this is good in aggressive Commander builds. Null Rod. This is on the reserve list. It goes up $2.46 to $42.86. See some Commander play, also some Legacy and Vintage play too. Twin Cast, the one from Saviors of Kamigawa, goes up $2.48 to $10.48. Now, the other copies of this card are starting to stabilize finally. This one's still going up a little bit. This has seen more play with Calamax the Stormsire. Burgeoning from Stronghold goes up $2.77 to $16.68. Great in lands builds, but just great regardless. Intuition on the reserve list, but it did have a Judge foil before, again, they closed that loophole. It goes up $2.80 to $89.29. This sees Commander and Legacy play. Serra Ascendance. You know, those life game builds have been popular ever since Theros Beyond Death came out. They brought us Daxos and Heliod, of course, and a lot of other cards. And now it does look like we're getting more life gain elements in Core Set 2021, like we talked earlier. So Serra Ascendant jumps up. Iconic Masters up $1.23 to $12.04. Magic 2011 up $2.81 to $13.62. Karlov of the Ghost Council, another card that fits into that category. This goes up $2.81 to $19.80. Popular Commander, also found many times in Aloro builds. Balefire Dragon from Ultimate Masters goes up $2.87 to $15.49. You'll find this many times in the Dragon decks, but this is also seeing more play now with Obosh the Prey Piercer. Force of Will from Eternal Masters, huge Legacy and Vintage card, also a huge competitive Commander card. It goes up $2.90 to $130.73. Plunge into Darkness, up $3.01 to $10.95. Great competitive Commander card. And like we said earlier, the Food Chain deck is seeing more play right now, and this does fit very well into that build. Also sees play sometimes in like Corvold Fate Curse King decks. Damnation from Planar Chaos, great board sweep in black for Commander. It goes up $3.21 to $37.49. Cephalid Coliseum from Odyssey up $3.26 to $8.12. This is seeing more play now with Rael the Everwise, Brawlin Skyshark Rider, and Shipraz the Skyshark, and more new cards. Also sees Legacy play in Dredge. Boseiju, Who Shelters All from Champions of Kamigawa, up $3.65 this week to $23.69. Highly played Commander cards, seeing more play with Calamax the Stormsire and Zexara the Exemplary. Protean Hydra, another Hydra here for your Zexara deck. Magic 2011 up 313 to 654. Magic 2010 up 375 to 1150. Kindred Dominance, great card again for tribal builds. It goes up 379 to 1895. Safi Eriksdotter, this goes up 398 to 1225. Seeing more play now with Nethroi Apex of Death and Thiemo Luminous Enigma, as well as some other new cards. Austere Command from Lorwyn, very good card in white for Commander. It goes up 405 to 1446. Sheoldred Whispering One, Iconic Masters up 307 to 2996. New Phyrexia up 421 to 2877. This has also seen increased play with Nethroi Apex of Death and some other new cards, but this was also highly played before that too. Thrumming Stone, this card got hot again when the Year of the Rat Secret Lair came out, as a lot of folks decided that was the time to build those rat decks, and this does play well with Rat Colony there. This goes up 440 to 4498. Grand Abolisher, Commander 2014 up $1.21 to 1465, Magic 2012 up 441 to 1649. This has seen more play with Winota Joiner Forces, Heliod Suncrowned, and again some other new cards. Treachery on the reserve list, it goes up 444 to 3397. This is seeing play in various competitive Commander builds. Seedborn Muse, another card that is good in a lot of the new builds. Kinnan Bonder Prodigy, Calamax the Stormsires, Ixara the Exemplary. 10th edition goes up $1 to 1357. 9th edition up 449 to $20.99. Nature's Will, great in Agila builds. This goes up 464 to 1999. Dexos the Return, this sees a fair amount of play as a commander, but has seen increased play with Kelsey and the Plague. It goes up 493 to 741. Exploration, great in lands builds, but just great in general. Also sees play in Legacy too. Urza Saga up 314 to 4948. Conspiracy up 493 to 4899. Volrath Stronghold on the reserve list, it goes up 496 to 5795. Sees a fair amount of commander play, but a little more play now in those Nethroi Apex of Death builds. Another tutor, Vampiric Tutor, 6th edition up 469 to 105.19. Eternal Masters up 498 to 110.79. Bear Umbra, seeing more play in Helden and Paco builds now, also very good in Agila decks, among other places. Commander 2018 up $1.90 to 901. Rise of the Eldrazi up 503 to 1070. Praetor's Grasp, this goes up 521 this week to 1008. Good competitive commander card. Generally, you'll see this many times in Send Triplets builds. This was mentioned recently, though, in the EDHREC podcast, and I think that brought some more attention to it. Furnace of Wrath. This is seeing more play with Torbran, Thane of Red Fell, Obosh the Prey Piercer. Also remember Mogus God of Slaughter was recently reprinted in one of the Theros Stargazing Secret Layers. Plane Chase goes up $1.37 to 652. 9th edition up $1.80 to 499. Duels of the Planeswalkers up 522 to 911. Winds of Change. This is the one from Portal. It goes up 556 to 4890. Again, it sees play with Zebra's the Writhing Storm, Shabraz, and also the Locust God, which was recently reprinted. Cursed Totem from 6th edition, drying up a little bit this week, going up 665 to 2948. This does see a little bit of commander play. Arachnogenesis up 682 to 2928. Many times this is in spider builds, but in general, it's a great combat trick in commander. Aggravated Assault up 686 to 1797. This is the one from Onslaught, and this is seeing more play too with Helden and Paco in Commander, and also some of the other new cards out there. This is great for aggressive builds. Ravos Soul Tender, only found in foil, up $19.28 to $36. In addition to the places this has already been seeing play, this is now showing up in humans builds with Jarina Kudrow, General Kudrow Dranith, General's Enforcer. Also, of course, that 2021 brings us good Orzhov Vampires. This could be a card you might want in a build like that too. And remember, in general, these partner commanders from Commander 2016 have been extremely hot. Cabal Coffers from Plane Chase goes up $20.22 to $74.22. Huge commander card, great with Urborg Tomb of Yawgmoth. Power Artifact on the reserve list, classic combo enabler in Commander. It goes up $22.22 to $218.88. Alright, let's talk about some cards I can afford now with the Pauper Spotlight. Gemhide Sliver, great in Sliver Pauper builds. It goes up 10 cents to $1.95. This is also seeing some more commander play right now because Sliver decks have been popular since Sliver Hivelord and Sliver Overlord were reprinted. Knight's Whisper from Mystery Boosters up 12 cents to $1.37. You'll find this in Esper Tempo, also sees commander play too. Slippery Bogle, this goes up 17 cents to $1.36. You'll find this in Hexproof builds in the format, also sees play in Modern Hexproof, and has seen some increased commander play in Otrimi the Ever Playful decks. This is a great mutate target. Pyroblast, great sideboard card in Pauper, as well as Legacy and Vintage, and this even sees commander play. Ice Age goes up 12 cents to $2.62, 5th edition up 20 cents to $2.98. Findhorn Elves, Ice Age up 12 cents to $2.27, Deckmasters Garfield vs. Finkel up 20 cents to $3.37. This is in Pauper Elves builds, of course, and does see more Commander play now in those Kinnan Bonder Prodigy decks. Silhana Ledgewalker from Plane Chase 2012, it goes up 22 cents to $1.13. You'll find this in Mono Green Aggro and Hexproof in the format. Also in Commander, another great target for Mutate, and you'll find this many times in those Otrimi, the Ever Playful builds. And this does see some Modern play too. Preordained from Mystery Boosters, you'll find this in Skred Fairies, Delver Fairies, Dimir Control, also sees play in Commander Legacy and Vintage. It goes up 23 cents to $3.39. Snap, also from Mystery Boosters, up 28 cents to $1.95. This is in Delver Fairies, Mono Blue Control, Azorius Familiar, Azorius Flicker. Sees Commander play too, more play recently with Kelamax the Stormsire around. Utopia Sprawl, this is in Hexproof builds and Pauper, also in Modern Gruul Obosh. And it sees a lot of Commander play too. Dissension goes up 27 cents to $4.23. Masters 25 up 28 cents to $4.50. Priest of Titania, this is the one from Urza Saga. It goes up 29 cents to $3.90. This is in Elves decks. Also sees Commander play in Elves too. Expedition Map, Zendikar up 13 cents to $4.14. Modern Masters 2015 up 30 cents to $4.62. This is in Tron builds in the format. Sees Modern and Commander play too though. Lightning Bolts. Okay, so 4 reprints of this are coming in the Mountain Ghost Secret Lair. But apparently nobody bothered to tell Lightning Bolt this, as these cards are still going up in value. You're going to find this in Skred Fairies and more in the Pauper format, but of course this sees Modern, Legacy, Vintage, and Commander play too. Arch Enemy Nicol Bolas up 11 cents to $2.40, Masters 25 up 13 cents to $2.24, Anthologies up 15 cents to $3.21, Mystery Booster up 19 cents to $1.95, Unlimited goes up 31 cents to $17.18. And it would not be a Pauper Spotlight without the Black Lotus of Pauper Oubliette. This time we're looking at the B variation. If you look up at the casting cost in the right corner there, it's a little bit easier to read here. It goes up $1.12 to $28.12. And of course, you'll find this in Mono Black Control. And that brings us to the Premium Spotlight. There's a number of cards going up in value, but again, much like I was talking about earlier in the Vintage section, most of the time it doesn't feel very natural right now because the market is so dry. But I still wanted to pick out one card that feels like it's moving somewhat naturally with the market, and I went with the foil copy of Praetor's Grasp. It's gone up $22.32 to $35.95 this week. Alright, that does it for this episode of the Market Watch. I'm going to go and rest my voice, but until next time, hey, thanks for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe, and have a great day. Hey, thanks for watching. This video is made possible through the generous support of viewers like you on Patreon. Check out the description below for links to our Patreon page as well as our Amazon affiliate store, where a small percentage of all sales will also help support the channel. Finally, if you haven't had a chance yet to subscribe, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of the new videos on Heroes and Legends. Talk to you again soon, and have a great day.